All right, guys, so I finally finished all the printing and I wanted to show you some of the upgrades I did. If you remember the other one, it was pretty crappy looking. And so one of the things I did was to put a lip on the top cap for the coil so that it fits in there really nice. And of course, I'm going to glue this in. But yeah, now it fits in there really nice. I mean, I made so many improvements compared to the other one. The other one was just horrible. All right. And what I have to do now is glue it all together. And then after I get it all glued together, and before I wrap it, I'm actually only going to glue these sections together. So, oops, dag nabbit. Anyway, I think you guys know what I mean. I'm going to glue. Here, let me put this thing back here. Put that on there like, come on. Put that like that. That like that. I'm going to glue these sections together like this and not glue the whole thing together until after until after I wrap the coil, because obviously I want to wrap the coil first, and I still haven't figured out how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to get all this stuff glued together. I'm going to use these to help guide it. I'm going to put them on the inside in between each of these sections so to make sure that when I do glue it together, it stays nice and straight. Yeah, so it's looking really nice. Oh, I'm just going to spill it all over again. Yeah, it's looking really good. Oh, come on. I have to figure out a better way to film so that I'm not bumbling around. There we go. Anyway, it looks great. I'm going to glue these sections together. Then I'm going to put the rod I'm going to use through there and take some measurements and figure out the rotor situation, because the rotor can be as wide as these circles so that it can spin. And I'm probably going to have it up on a platform of some kind. And I need to figure out what type of magnets I'm going to put in the rotor. It's going to be 3D printed, and it's going to have, I'm not really sure, it's going to be some sort of a cylinder with places for maybe barrel magnets to go, maybe even put a bunch of these in there, maybe like this. So a row here, row here, row here, row here, and then underneath, row here, so that it's nice and heavy, because I'm going to have, yeah, in fact, that's what I'm going to do. That's great. I love thinking out loud. I'm going to design a rotor, and I have plenty of these magnets that can take probably 4 or maybe 3, and I'll have, so it'll be some sort of a cylinder, obviously with a hole cut in it, and then I'll 3D print it so it'll have maybe 5 holes in the top, so I could put 5 sections, kind of like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you guys get the picture. Yeah, that's going to work out good, because it'll be nice and heavy, plus it'll have a lot of magnetic flux, because I'll be putting magnet on top of magnet instead of, I was going to try to get large ring magnets and use those, but I don't think those are going to work very well. They would probably work. I was going to use those in conjunction with some neodymium magnets, but nah. Anyway, it looks great. I've got to wind these coils for the solenoid motor. I did check, and the magnets that I got, the 3/4 by 3/4, fit perfectly. and I 3D printed a bunch of spacers. I have this this freaking really cheap filament from I think it's an Amazon original, or it's made by Amazon, or they just put their label on it, and it's really cheap filament, but it works for this type of stuff. And these guys will fit in here perfectly, and they do. They go right in like that. Oops. And so, yeah, I printed a bunch of these at 20 millimeters and a bunch at 22. And then I also printed out a whole bunch of spacers. I got to get all this stuff out of here. These are the clamps that I used. Well, anyway, that doesn't matter. I printed a bunch of spacers out of the same stuff. Come on. Oh, yeah. A bunch of 1 millimeter spacers. Got to clean these up. They still have some of the brim on them. Some of the brim is still left on these coil lips, but I'm going to clean all that up before I glue it. But I'm going to get it glued up today. It is kind of cold and rainy out here, though, so I don't know how well the glue will cure. Anyway, just wanted to give you a quick update. Hopefully the next video will be of this thing all glued up, and maybe even what the rotor is going to look like. All right, so stay tuned. All right, little quick update. I'm getting the tabs glued on. These are the tabs I was talking about to align the two halves. I like them. I think they're going to work great. I've already tested it. They seem to hold the ring half nice and centered, or nice and aligned. So the other day I talked about getting some sort of a Gauss meter, excuse me, so I can figure out what the strengths are of the magnets that I have. These are I think they're the 5/8 by ½ inch barrel magnets that I used in the solenoid motor. I would put two of them together, and these are actually really strong magnets, much stronger than some of the other ones I have, which leads me to believe that these are probably an N42. If you remember, I got N52s that are 3/4 of an inch tall. So instead of having two magnets, I'm going to have one every, I don't know, every 30 millimeters or so. But I'd really like to figure out, or get some kind of device, some sort of a Gauss meter, to figure out what, what the strength is of my magnet. Because I buy all my magnets, or 90% of them, from K&J Magnetics, and they're really good as far as giving you what you paid for. It's not like when you buy on Amazon, you really don't know what you're getting. But I don't remember when I bought these. I know I bought them quite a while ago off that site, and they do have a record of everything that I bought, but I can't seem to find these, so I really don't know what they are, but I'm pretty sure they're up there. They're either an N42 or an N52. I think they're a 42, but they're really strong. So again, if anybody knows a cheap, easy way to figure out the magnetic strength, if there's some sort of a device I can plug into my PC to do it, or some sort of software with the device, or if I have to actually break down and see if I can purchase a second-hand Gauss meter. If anybody knows that, please let me know in the comments. All right, thanks guys. Stay tuned.